Hello and welcome. You're watching Think Up. My name is Patti de Bonitas. In today's program, we are talking about the rising tension between the US and Iran. Both countries have a long history of a conflict, but most recently it seems to have intensified, especially ever since the US pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal in 2018. I've invited Hamid Taqvaee, the leader of the WPI, to discuss this with us. Hamid, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hamid, I wanted to know, both countries now, there seems to be a rising tension. Both say they don't really want war, but what is actually behind this whole conflict between the two countries? What do they really want?
Okay, the main problem is that Islamic Republic of Iran always had a problem as far as the relation with the West and especially with US is concerned. And that's the basic reason of that current situation. Islamic Republic, from one hand, they need economic relation with the world, especially with the US. They want a place in the world market. On the other hand, they cannot give up their anti-American policies. They need this that policy as well, because that's their identity. From the very beginning, Islamic Republic was a very important force in the Islamic movement, political Islam, against the West, against the US. And with that policy, they have influence in Iraq, in Yemen, with Hezbollah in Lebanon, against Israel and everything. So they cannot just simply give up that because they want that economic relation. With the nuclear deal, Islamic Republic had what they wanted. They, from one hand, they could stop the economical sanctions, and they have their own policies and following their policies in the region. Now, US says that's not good anymore. So Trump administration, they want that Islamic Republic stops its policies in the region as well. So that's the problem, that's the dilemma, and that's the reason that we have that situation now.
So now the US, a lot of the aggression at the moment seems to come from the US. They've deployed warship and planes there. They've drawn up plans to send troops to the Middle East. They said they have identified some intelligence that they are being targeted. So are the US, are they trying to build a case like they did in Iraq and Afghanistan? Do you think it is likely that they will attack Iran, that there will be a military intervention?
I don't think so. I don't think it's very likely. The situation is completely different from the Bush era that they invaded Afghanistan and Iraq. Even now, Trump administration, they want to just leave those countries. They cannot afford to go on like with this current policy. I mean, that policy ended, and even with Obama, the process changed. The policy changed in the Middle East, and so they cannot go back to militarism, to jingoism as they did in Bush era. The situation is completely different. What they do is just putting, I think, simply more pressure on Islamic Republic to force them to negotiate with them, to accept their conditions. They declared 12 conditions. They want Islamic Republic to accept them. So at least go back to the negotiation table to talk about that. That's what they want. And Trump specifically gained from that diplomacy with Islamic Republic, because you know that when they left the nuclear agreement, all their allies were against them, criticized them, and they stayed with that agreement. Now, if Trump can open a new negotiation with Islamic Republic, it means that it would mean politically a victory for him, and he needs it. So I don't think that they're going to actually start a new war in the Middle East. They cannot do that. They cannot afford that politically and practically. What they want is just put more pressure on Islamic Republic to start a new round of negotiation.
But if these negotiations don't lead to anything, and would you support a military intervention in Iran by the US?
In no condition we support such an action, because it would be a disaster. Any kind of war, even a limited one, would be a disaster for people of Iran. It's people who pay the price with their lives, with their everyday life, with everything. So we are against war. War doesn't solve anything, and war just makes the situation, as far as the people are concerned, much worse. And and the other thing is that even politically, that's Islamic Republic that would benefit from the war, because they would have a new excuse for their atrocities against people of Iran. Like any other dictator, they need war to justify their position against struggle of people, against political freedom, against people demonstrate and against any activity in the society. That's what war does. That's what dictators need war. So in Iran, the situation is the same. So from politically and and socially, from the point of view of people of Iran, we are against war in any condition.
So what is your solution? What is for you the best way out of the situation?
The best solution, again, from the point of view of people of Iran, is toppling that Islamic Republic of Iran, getting rid of that regime. Because people know that the main reason that they have this situation in Iran is Islamic Republic. That's the main reason that we have that threat of war, that we have economic sanction, that the life of people is miserable in Iran, that the reason is their own government, the government of Islamic Republic of Iran. So, and I don't know if you know that just yesterday, people in many cities came to streets again with the slogan of "Death to Islamic Republic," down with the Islamic Republic. So that's the way. We think that the best solution for that situation is intensifying the struggle of people and protest against Islamic Republic in the streets of Iran. That's the only way out, I think.
Hamid Taqvaee, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
This was Think Up. Until next time, goodbye.